Hello viewers. Welcome to the legendary muscles. Tom Platz, also known as the Quad Father, best known for his legendary leg development and unmatched intensity in training, was not just a master of quadriceps obliteration, he also applied his unique, high-intensity training approach to every muscle group, including the arms. While his legs became the stuff of legend, his arms were no slouch either, packed with thick muscle and powerful definition. In this video, we delve into how Tom Platz took his arms training to the extreme and how you can incorporate his methods into your own workouts. According to an interview given by Tom in November 1982, most young bodybuilders fall into a trap. They get carried away training the chest and arms and neglect the rest of the body, especially the legs. The first two body parts seem to them to represent the epitome of strength and manliness, the macho muscles. You see it all the time in the gym. It happened to Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was a kid training in Austria. It happened to Larry Jackson, Tony Pearson, and a lot of others. But this was not the case with young Tom Platz. For him, it was almost the opposite. From the time I was 14, Tom says, I was training mostly with weightlifters. So I was less interested in arms and chest. When you're training for competitive weightlifting, the areas you have to concentrate on the most are the legs and trunk. But Tom always had it in his mind to become a bodybuilder. So he did not neglect the rest of his body entirely. But, he admits, when it came to training arms, his heart simply was not in it. I did arm training, Tom recalls, but I was never able to get the same feeling I got when I worked legs. I would do legs, really heavy squats, and try to follow with arm training. But I was already tired, and a lot of the time I found myself just going through the motions. Even with the heavy poundages weightlifters use in training, they don't get the arm development bodybuilders need. Heavy cleans, for example, involve the biceps, but don't give them the full range of motion that creates great arms. And, while pressing works the triceps, it represents only one limited type of movement and doesn't create an arm with a true bodybuilding shape. When I came out to California, Platz says, everything changed. I had gotten into weightlifting originally to get thicker and denser so I would be better at bodybuilding. Now I was among bodybuilders whose workouts involved a lot of arm training, so I found myself doing curls instead of power cleans. Since then, Tom's arms have improved a great deal and are on their way to becoming one of his best body parts. But before he could get the most out of his arm training, first Tom sought the mental connection that would allow him to train his arms with the same intensity he had always put into his legs. Joe Weider told me many times, every body part is an emotion. That always made a lot of sense to me. I have a different feeling, a different emotion with each body part. I had some trouble developing this feeling for triceps. For example, mastering triceps pushdowns took me a long time. Whenever I think about arms, Tom continues, I can see the photo of Arnold on the cover of Education of a Bodybuilder, that phenomenal biceps peak, a mountainous arm with mountains in the background. I could stare at that photo for hours. But once Tom actually starts training, he doesn't use visualized images to focus his attention. Instead, he concentrates on the Weider slow continuous tension training principle, feeling the muscle working through its range of motion. It is this feeling, this direct connection between mind and muscle, that Tom believes is the key to total intensity. Tom Platz's arm workout. Superset, standing alternate dumbbell curls and close grip bench presses. Seated French presses. Standing barbell curls. Triceps pushdowns. Wrist curls. In off-season, weighted dips instead of close grip presses. I get extra intensity in my arm training by using the Weider priority system, Platz explains. I train arms by themselves, no other body parts, so that I can give them my full attention. Some bodybuilders say you don't need much arm training since training back and chest involves the biceps and triceps. But when I am working out doing heavy presses, my mind isn't into arms. And when my mind is not involved, I don't get much response from the muscles. So I have to do a separate training session just for arms. Even so, the biceps and triceps are very small muscles. If you train them really hard, put a lot of intensity into a short workout, I believe you can do more than about 10 sets for each muscle. If you do more, you aren't training hard enough. Tom begins by supersetting alternate dumbbell curls and close grip bench presses with an easy curl bar. I don't get much out of heavy barbell curls with a lot of cheating. I need to feel the exercise more strictly. Platz recalls how he used to go into the gym early in the morning when nobody else was around, take 20-pound dumbbells, and do very strict curls until he mastered the isolation principle, making the biceps do all the work. He gradually increased the weight until now he can use 70-pound dumbbells and get the same feeling and the same strict movement. When I'm not training for competition, he adds, I drop the close grip presses and do very heavy weighted dips instead. Tom normally does his dips with a 135-pound dumbbell fastened to his waist, heavy enough to work his triceps, but not too heavy so that he can't get in sufficient reps. When he is too exhausted to continue, he lifts himself up, locks out his arms, and holds this position as long as he can. Following the superset, Tom does seated French presses, but even here he has a twist. As he lowers the weight behind his head, he has his training partner force the bar down as far as possible, stretching the triceps to the absolute maximum. This adds a whole other dimensions to the exercise. Tom says. Tom does his standing barbell curls very slowly and strictly. Again, contrary to bodybuilders such as Franco Columbu and Arnold Schwarzenegger, who like to do heavy cheat curls, Tom simply doesn't enjoy the way they feel. He prefers to keep the bar totally under control and concentrate on how the biceps hold throughout the longest range of motion possible. For triceps pushdowns, Tom uses a straight bar. This allows him to feel the movement more in the triceps than with a V-shaped one. He does the movement strictly, locking his arms out fully at the bottom of the movement and, at the top, having his training partner press down on the weight stack to stretch his triceps to the maximum. I do wrist curls just the way Arnold does, Tom explains, forearms along a bench, letting the weight roll down into the fingers, then curling the bar up as far as I can. After years of heavy power cleans, Tom doesn't feel his forearms need any reverse curls to bring out extra development. Tom was quite happy with the way his arms looked at the Olympia last year, but he still isn't completely satisfied. I'm not willing to limit myself, he says. And so he is still interested in developing more fullness in the triceps, which may require adding more exercises to his off-season training program. And he still has in his mind's eye that vision of Arnold's arm with its massive biceps peak. That remains a goal. Off-season, when I'm training for maximum size, I train slower, with less aerobic demand, and I cut out the supersets. However, as I've said before, the irony of the whole thing is the more successful you get in bodybuilding, the more exhibitions, seminars, and personal appearances you do, the less time you have to train. Tom Platz's competition training split. First day. Morning, back, rear delts. Evening, traps, abdominals. Second day. Morning, chest, front and side delts, calves. Evening, aerobic, bike riding, an hour or more. Third day. Morning, arms. Evening, abdominals. Fourth day. Morning, thighs, calves. Evening, aerobic, bike riding, an hour or more. Training for competition, Platz continues the cycle immediately, taking his rest days only when he feels he needs it. I do seated French presses to build the bulky triceps muscles. At the bottom of the movement, I'll have a training partner pull down on the bar to fully stretch my triceps muscles. Tom Platz's legendary dedication to training, strict form, and intense focus on muscle development continue to inspire bodybuilders worldwide. His relentless pursuit of excellence serves as a reminder that true greatness comes from discipline and pushing beyond limits. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Tom Platz's training philosophy, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more legendary bodybuilding insights, workout breakdowns, and exclusive content. Stay strong and keep lifting. Be legendary.